Hey, what is going on, guys? I cannot believe this is reality, but yes, Project Era is expected to come back, going back to Season 8 and being very similar to how it was in May when it closed down. In today's video, we're going to talk about the key facts you need to know about the new server, so how to join, how the structure looks, and all of that. We'll then go into how competitive I think Era will be against the juggernauts that exist in these days long after Era is closed, such as EasyFN and Retrack. And then finally, what I want to see from Era to bring it back to what I think was the glory days before it closed. Okay, let's start out with how to join. So the old Era Discord that you remember in May got converted to Project Era UEFN, and now that server is kind of being used as a link off point to get to the two new servers. So if you're still interested in Project Era UEFN, you can join the new server from there. But if you're interested in Project Era OG, which you probably are if you're clicking on this video, you click on that server link from the old Era server to go to the new Era OG server, okay? This new Era OG server has seen a lot of the old members rejoin. So, there's a lot of your everyday members that you saw from time to time, but also a lot of your key members like managers, developers, helpers. Not all of them are back, but a lot of them are. And they're quickly reestablishing the old structure. So, fairly quickly, it should get a good feel of how the old server used to be. Well, yes, there won't be as many people, at least initially. It's going to have a very similar feel. So, Season 8 is expected to come back. We don't have an exact ETA at the moment. When we get a confirmed launch date, I can, of course, update you guys, but right now we don't know, other than it should be fairly soon. Finally, there should be a ban reset, so if you were banned from the Era Discord for whatever reason, that should get reset. That does not mean try and get yourself banned again. Use this as a second chance to not repeat whatever you did before, and stay in the Discord long term if you're going to want to play. So, with the key facts out of the way, let's go into how competitive do I think Project Era will be against the other leading projects. Now, to do this, we kind of have to look back at history. When we started this year, for the longest time, it really was Era versus Nova, that classic project debate. Which was the better project, right? Yes, other projects did exist. EasyFN did exist back then, but let's be honest, EasyFN was fairly small. It was the big two competing against one another. However, when Era closed, Nova also shut down the servers, which led to this flood, enormous flood of projects you have never heard about. And it was all a competition over what project would take most of those players and be the leading project. And as time has passed on, we've started to consolidate down to a few major projects. In the current position, as of today, EasyFN has the most players. You're pulling well over 1,000 a day. It's doing very well. And EasyFN is overall a very casual experience in Chapter 1. They're running both Season 4 and Season 7. It's, I think, a very fun project. Retrack is also doing pretty well. I am aware of that. The Chapter 2 project is definitely much more competitive than EasyFN, but some of you may prefer that. Nova, it's very hard to say because they have hidden player accounts, but honestly, it really feels like the EasyFN and Retrack are doing better. So really, it's the big 2 to 3 that are in control of this space now. So, yes, Era is coming back, but I don't think it'll be the easiest thing ever to displace those major projects, because a lot of what makes projects fun is how many players are in each game. And while Era does have the chance of coming back, taking it by storm, and taking back the lead quickly, I don't necessarily think that could happen overnight. Because from my understanding, Era was pulling around 600 players towards the end, and, excluding the launch of Season 8, and EasyFN is pulling much more than that. They were pulling more than that even when Season 4 tests hadn't even started. So I think it'll be an interesting competition over what project will take the commanding lead, but I don't think it'll be an easy wipe for Era. It could be. They could take the lead, but I don't think these other projects are going to just fall out of existence automatically, because they are effectively the incumbent project now. So it's going to be an interesting debate over where people go. I'll keep you updated on the situation to see where this goes. Finally, let's have a conversation about what I really want to see from Era to really return to form, because I think Era really was a very special project that really separated itself because, there's a few key things. Number one, making adjustments to the version to make it better than it was historically, There's always going to be a historical versus non-historical debate, It's like two ideologies that will always compete. But I really do think that in certain situations, making balance changes is good. Like in Season 6 of Era, they really made balance changes. You know, they buffed the pump shotgun to make it more competitive. They unvaulted the bouncers. They unvaulted the gold bolt action. You know, this is the kind of things I really want to see from Era. ECFN has proven to do this, and I think we should see the exact same thing from Era Season 8, right? Maybe consider unvaulting the heavy shotgun. Consider buffing attack. Right? Let's make this meta more interesting, right? You know, by Season 7, they really stopped doing that. All they did was vault the crossbow, and I really want to see that come back. Now, I'm not saying that we should, like, throw away historical accuracy altogether, right, and add in ridiculous things that never existed, like the OG SMG, but the point is just to make some slight adjustments to make the game a lot nicer to play, just like we would do with adding Siphon. Okay, the next thing, as I really think this is extremely important, is bringing back the server page and live player counts, okay? ECFN does not have the dedicated server page, but they, in some form, have a live player count, and they also have, when you're queuing, you know how many players are in queue, okay? And it was so frustrating to me when Eric got rid of that feature, because it made life so much nicer, because if you saw really high player counts, even if it was the middle of the night, you might be really incentivized to get on and actually play, okay? And if player counts are low, maybe you take a break that day. Point is it just means that you're not wasting time getting in games with 5 people, right? And it also means if you're willing to play, say you're willing to play EU Duo or EU Squad, okay, well, what you do is you sit in lobby, and as soon as one of those opens, whichever opens first with enough players, you join that, right? And that saves a lot of time. So much time. You know, in Era Season 5, I would play solo, duo, or squad. So the queue time is effectively so much shorter because you're willing to take any of those 3 modes, you can get in rapidly. And that's what I really want to see from Era, is to bring that feature back. I truly think that feature was what made Era stand out, and I really want to see that come back. So with that, look, you know, I'm kind of split on this, because on one hand, I think the current situation is very good, but on the other hand, competition can also make all projects better. And Era really was special, so it could be absolutely fantastic. We're just going to have to wait and see, right? Keep your expectations, like, moderate, right? Be excited about it, but just, you know, we don't know if Era will be a dominant project again. Era may end up sliding to 3rd place and just being a mid-sized player. We really don't know. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're excited for Project Era. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.